Hello and welcome everyone to the speakers event Stage of Inspiration with our today's guest, Haikel Badreddine from France, right? Europe is
Yes.
calling here Thursday, 9 p.m. and we have guests from all around the world. I'm so happy. My name is Caroline, by the way. I'm your, do you call it co-host? I don't know, your assistant today, and I want to introduce you. We met through the Proctor Gallagher Institute, where we studied the material of Bob Proctor's Thinking and Results. I'm so happy that we are connected now for almost 3 years. You are the master of ceremony. You have to tell us more about that, of course. And now I would say the stage is yours.
Thank you, Caroline. Well, thank you again for having me. Honestly, it's an honor to be here. And like I mentioned, yes, like you mentioned, we met 3 years ago through PGI training. And well, life kind of took me on that path ever since. So maybe just to give you a little bit about myself. So I'm initially I used to be in the IT corporation world. So I spent about 12 years of my life working in the IT field. And then just because of really I felt like I was not feeling living my purpose. I was just always saying yes to what I was told. I was always doing what others expected of me, and I was succeeding doing that, but there was never really a true satisfaction. Well, until I came through to Bob's material, which has completely really shifted everything about my life. And even looking at it today, it's been 3 years now. And looking at everything today, whether from the personal perspective, my relationship with my wife and my kids, what I do for work, the people I serve, I'm just every day I'm so grateful and thankful for the idea that has used me. And today I wanted to share more about that, to really to get bring more awareness, because we can always get more awareness, and awareness is really what has changed the human being life from what it used to be until what it is today and where it's going to go. So today, really, what I wanted to focus on is just to ask really some questions, and maybe that you guys can help me in the conversation because I don't want it to be just myself speaking. But just from the awareness perspective, people tend to really think, at least most of the people that I meet, they think that their results is just the outcome of the existing circumstances and conditions that they are living. But they never do question those conditions. They never do question those circumstances. Where do they come from? And how it comes to be that the results are what they are today, and how it comes to be that they are living the way they live, and how it comes to be that they think the way they think, and how it comes to be that they believe in the certain things that they do believe in. They just don't question that. They just take it as is. They think that that's what life is, and it's going to be always that way, and that's the end of it. I used to be like that. But something in me always said, and the more I study this material, the more I am in touch with that something because I was feeling this from my early years. There is more to life. We are not here we are not here all the same. We are not here just to be and then work and get retirement and then pass on and that's it. There is way more to life. And the more I am in touch with the sense of me, the greater my life is becoming, the greater I am achieving better results. I am more at ease, whether in my financial relationships, whether in my personal relationships, whether in my just in my daily activities. It's just everything is getting better and better and better. And I feel that I am in control of my conditions. I am in control of my circumstances. And the more I manage this, just the better things come. So what I've been doing for the last 3 years and a half is exactly helping people understand that. And I worked with so many clients from different parts of the world. And what amazed me the most is that at the end of the day, we come from the same material, which means that we all have the same needs. We are all looking for the same thing, which is basically freedom, for whether it's financial freedom, whether it's time freedom, the ability to do whatever we want, whenever we want, and how we want. So, as a human beings, we all have the same basic needs, and also as a human beings, we have all been let me put it this way. We have all been programmed to think in a certain way, which does not serve us at all. And that certain way, it just came from the paradigm of our parents, from the paradigm of our grandparents, that come from generation after generation after generation. But the moment, especially with the people I work with, and I see this happening, like I can even tell you a quick story later on about a client that I've worked with this week. It's just simply so amazing. But the idea that I want to communicate is that the moment we take a committed decision to just says, I am sick and tired of being sick and tired. I want to live life differently. I want to feel more myself. I don't want to play the role that the society wants me to play, or I don't want to play the role that my family expect of me, but I just want to be me. I truly want to be me. And then you start to figure out what me is or who me is. Things start to change, not just for you, but think about this. Things will start to change for the upcoming generations. Means you won't affect your kids as your parents affected you, or you won't affect your kids as your grandparents affected your parents. You'll just kind of like create a whole new movement, which is towards freedom, which is towards of living the life following certain universal laws, which we all should live by them. But unfortunately, this kind of information, it's not communicated nor at school, nor in the household. It's been written. I've read so many books now that dates from the 1800, 1899, but this information is not known. Yet it holds the key to success. It holds the key to the life of with ease. It holds the key to freedom. And the more I study this, just the better it gets. And to come back to the story that I wanted to share, I started working with a client like 5 months ago. This client, he basically, in his professional life, he was a big mess in a sense where he was not happy, he was completely not satisfied. He was always like judging the opinion of the team he works with, the opinion of the management, that he doesn't like it at all, that he doesn't agree. Every time someone asked him to do specific tasks, he would do them, but with fear, thinking that that they will put him in trouble. He will always take many hours and many days to achieve certain activities. And when we started working together, I asked him like, "What is it that you desire? Like, imagine if I had like a magic wand, and I would say, okay, I can make your true wish come true." First of all, the funny thing at first, he didn't know what he wants, which, in my opinion, this is very common, but it's sad because we just live on our daily life that we really stop thinking of what we want. We just, accept certain conditions and certain circumstances, and we live with them. So a couple of weeks later, he started to really think, and then he started thinking like, I want to move to Brazil. I want to hold like strategic management position. I want to become part of the people who make decision at the company level. Because I know this IT part and I know how it could affect them and so on. So he started really to think from a broader perspective. And then we started working together and I taught him the universal laws. I taught him how to live from the inside out, which means really to create a desire within yourself and just build the self-image around that desire to the point that you don't let the outside world affect you. I taught him about the law of cause and effect. I taught him how to respond instead of react. 5 months after that, and we just had the call on Monday. I'm still really blown away by what happened. So 5 months afterwards, look where he is right now. Now he's no longer at the company level, he's at the group level. He's no longer doing operational activities. He's at the strategic management level with the corporate IT. He's negotiating his contract to be the managing director at a new center they're creating where in Brazil. And the funny part, when we started working together, there was no center in Brazil whatsoever. It came. So what I'm trying to say here, honestly, this is not magic. It's really the way that each human being should be living. This is some information that we should all be aware of. This is information that should be taught to children, as a matter of fact, at an early age. If they know what the law of cause and effect is, if then they would start treating others, as they would expect others to treat them. Um, so his wife actually called me like within the third or fourth month. She told me, I don't know what you're doing to my husband. but I just love it so much because he's more at ease, he's more present at home, he's more relaxed, you know. And what I loved about this specific clients is that because we spent the whole session on Monday just trying to see what happened, because I personally lived like a quantum leap. But when you live it yourself, you cannot see all the details. You just have to reflect, and you have to reflect a lot so you can get few glimpses here and there. But with his case, we really took the time to kind of like really look at everything from like looking backwards, basically, how everything happened really. The conclusion was honestly is that first, like, because he did everything with ease, he was much, he told me like, I'm doing like way less effort compared to what I used to do before, which is something amazing because before he used to be like all over the place, and he always like, you know, deliver after the deadlines. Now he's like delivering always earlier and with much less effort. He's in more in harmony with the senior management team, which was not the case. um, and he's feeling better, whether at home, whether at work, whether with himself, which is most important. Um, so yeah, this is kind of like what I wanted to share with you today, and to summarize before maybe if there are any questions to come up, is that the more you know about yourself, the more you truly dig deep inside, the better your outer world will become. Okay, so we should never live from the outside in. We should truly live from the inside out. But to do so, you really have to go and uncover what's on the inside. We are truly the highest form of creation. I mean, we are truly that. You know, I love Bob used to say, you know, everything about a man is his mind. Everything else you will find in a pig or in a horse, which is absolutely true. I mean, what makes a difference between myself and you and any other person alive is our way of thinking, is how we use our mind. And the mind is truly the most, I would say, potent creation, because everything that came to be as we know it today, it just came from the imagination of someone. You know, someone imagined something, and he got or she got locked into that idea so much, and then, you know, he started working to bring it into the physical world. So mind is truly the name of the game. The more you master your mind, the more you understand how your mind functions, you know, and what your conscious mind is and what your subconscious mind is, and how you can get them both to work in harmony. The more you start building your self-image, which is definitely a work that you have to do in your mind, the more things start to shift. And we all deserve to have like a happy life. We all deserve, we were never created to be miserable. You know, at some point of my life, I used to believe that. I used to believe that if I'm going through some hardship, it's a good thing because I'm maybe that means that, you know, God is challenging me, and for that reason He's challenging me, and I have that I'm, you know, I deserve His blessing because He's challenging me. I had a completely wrong understanding. We are not meant to live in hardship. We are meant to really explore life to the best ability. As a matter of fact, in my opinion, I think Earth is heaven. And to some people, I know Earth is truly heaven because they live life the right way. But to do that, you really have to remove a lot of programmings we had from heredity, from parents, grandparents, and even before, because we were in a survival mode. You know, we were always thinking, you know, from lack perspective. You know, we'll be running out of this. Something bad will happen. Protect yourself. You know, keep money just in case something will happen. We were always like in survival mode, and we cannot be creative if we are in survival. It's just these two planes of understanding that are completely different. And again, the more we study that, the more we understand that, and that's why I love what I do. I truly love what I do. It's just to me, because when I serve others first, I serve myself. Because the more I teach this material, the more I get it into my subconscious mind. But I just love it because it's awareness. At the end of the day, if we're gonna get something, let's get awareness, because that's what's gonna make a huge difference. And today, that's basically what I'm going through for the last 3 years and a half, and it's been a true blessing. Really, truly, truly, a true blessing. I don't know, Caroline, if or anyone in the audience had maybe some questions or anything that they want to discuss deeper.
Thank you so much. This was great. I was typing and I was speechless, that this message is great and well received, that it's about awareness and allowing ourselves to become more aware with every second, every present moment. Thank you so much. Yes, we have questions now, maybe time for Q&A. Who wants to start? It's like 6 a.m. club. I remember those times. Who
Yeah.
wants to share takeaways, questions?
Yeah, not so much a question, but more an agreement, an acknowledgement with Haikel, because when we think that we're not in control of ourselves, or we're not going to have a happy life, but when we realise that we choose how we respond to the situations around us, everything then changes for us. Well, I'd love to know a little bit more about when you had that realisation for yourself, Haikel. How did you feel? What was the things that you went through at the time?
Definitely great point. At first, I never understand things like from the first click, to be honest. I have to look at them from different perspective. But I started to observe myself. You see, I was also more into the judgment of myself and others, which is definitely the wrong way of living. I used to judge myself a lot. And when I started getting into this material, especially about reacting and responding, I started to observe myself. So I said, okay, I should not react, I should respond. And then when I started observing myself, oh my God, what I have discovered. I have discovered that I was always in that tense mode. It's like, when you're going to be attacked and you're just waiting for that attack to react back. I found myself like that. Like I was always tense, expecting something bad to happen. I used to be in that mindset. Oh my God. I was always expecting the worst to happen. It's like I had a computer in my mind, always computing, okay, what are the possible bad scenarios that can happen? That's the only thing what I spend most of my energy on. I now it's completely different because now honestly I'm expecting the good. And even when something not as good happens, I know just after it is gonna be something good. It's okay. It's just around the corner. So the difference honestly between reacting and responding, it made a huge difference in myself because I also through the process I got to learn self-mastery. So which means I got to learn how to master myself. Which means I get to learn to master my thoughts because my thoughts are in control of my emotions, and my emotion will lead me to take a certain action. So I had to get to that self-mastery. To get to that self-mastery, I had to go through the experience. It was not easy at first, and it will never be easy at first. And that's why we have to truly reprogram ourselves. Bob, I remember, used to say, you have to unlearn and relearn. So I had to unlearn a lot of things, which is why I truly think we need mentorship, we need coaching, we need unfortunately this information is not available at schools, but we need someone to walk you through the steps. We need someone to really show you what you should and you should not do and how you should look at things. So observation got me through experience, the experience got me through self-mastery, and when I get to the self-mastery, I start to think from aspiration. So that's when I start to think, okay, then what do I aspire to be? If I'm not going to spend my energy into complaining, moaning, looking at possible bad scenarios, I found myself like more at peace, which allowed me to aspire to become something else, to aspire to truly think of what I truly want. And that's what helped me to build my self-image. That's what helped me to improve my relationship with my wife, with my children, with my surrounding, my community. It helped me to create a new amazing relationship because like attract like, and this is also something very important. Before I used to see like successful people, I would look at them like, if they're so successful, something is, they're more like, opportunity takers, they don't care about the rest of the people. They're always, but then I found myself surrounded with amazingly successful people who truly look to do good around them. And this has amazed me a lot. Like the more successful they become, the more they are trying to do good around them. The more successful they are, they also find out that they are more disciplined. Successful people, they don't waste their energy in a sense that if something bad happened, they truly choose not to get emotionally involved with it. I see that like they are making the choice. They just shift, and they shift with such ease. And then you see like their focus is going towards more like how to get better, how to become more successful, how to win the situation, how to change the situation with so much ease. And that's like what kind of also got me to mingle with the right people, which helped me to change more of my mindset and to start really to choose the characteristics that I want to incorporate in myself, which also I started to build in my own self-image. And really the outcome of that is that the more you work on the inside, the more the outside changes. Because truly the outside, in my opinion, and it's not just and I read this in so many books, the outside is just a mirror. Whatever you see on the outside, you have it in you on the inside. Maybe not by choice. Maybe it was programmed for you from heredity. Maybe it was programmed inside of you in the environment where someone just lived. And this is, I can even relate to that because I started going back to understand why I have some really those perceptions and beliefs, which I knew that they took me nowhere. And when I look deep into them, I start to remember, like I used to hang out with certain people that they just believed that. And when they were talking about these topics, my mind was just wide open. I was just taking it in, not challenging it. I just took it in. I took it as true, something that I truly believe in. And then once I identified, that's where perception, which is an important mental activity, comes in. That's when you can switch your perception so easily. Like once you find that root cause of that limiting belief or wrong perception, switching it becomes much easier because you kind of like look at it in the face. It's just like if you look at fear in the face. Once you look at fear in the face, fear disappears. Same thing when you look at limiting beliefs, and you should be able to truly change your perception about them. So indeed, one of the main points is to stop reacting first of all, because no matter what happens, it's never as bad as you think. Never, And I've been through some bad stuff. I work with people who've been through some bad stuff. It just at first it consumes us that we think of it is so bad. I have to react so right now, and so on. But it's never really the case. It's and the more you start to respond, the more the situation will disappear or will change in a much subtle way. So that's definitely something to master between reacting and responding.
Brilliant.
Wow, I love what you just shared, and I love your question as well, Ellen. So would you say, Haikel, the secret lies in staying calm and serene when something happens?
Absolutely, and I would say not calm and serene, not just when something happened. And this is something that also, through a lot of training, it helped me a lot. Mastering serenity, it's more important to do it in the good days than in the bad days, because if you are able to do it in the good days, it becomes easier to do it in the bad days. I give you an example. Like before, like today, for instance, it's an amazing example. My son, I promised him like a PlayStation 5. He got good grades and so on. I told him he will get it. I just wanted to give it to him in the right day. As it's summertime, so I bought it for him and I took him to pick it up. I didn't tell him anything. I wanted to surprise him. And then when he went to the store to pick it up from the delivery store, and when he opened it, he went crazy excited. He was so excited, so happy. He couldn't believe it. He spent like 10 minutes, I would say, completely out of his mind. Okay. I was just observing him. I was observing him for the simple reason I wanted to live the present moment. I just wanted to be present. I didn't want to judge. I didn't want to think about work. I didn't want to think about anything. I just wanted to be present, seeing my son in that state of happiness. When he was done, I told him, you know what? What I wish for you is that I want to see you in this state of happiness inside in your mind, not because you are impacted by something external. Because if a PlayStation today got you to be so excited, I promise you tomorrow something will happen will get you so upset. So what I want you to, if you see this happiness that you just felt, I told him I want you to feel it not because you got the PlayStation. I wanted to feel it inside of your head because you truly deserve it, because you can have it. You can have anything you want, as a matter of fact. But don't let the external is what you depend on. Depend only on the internal. So I want to link this to the serenity part, is just to say that if even in the good days, you should always keep your mind serene. You should always keep calm. The more you keep calm, the faster things move. And this is, Bob used to always tell us this, and it took me a while to understand. And I'm like, what do you mean I'm calm and things will move fast? Like, it just does not make sense. And he told me, of course it makes sense, because when you are calm, you are in control of yourself, and you don't let the outside control the inside. And that's when the outside starts to move according to what you believe on the inside. And it's absolutely true. Things truly shifted in my life, and even like the client that I was just talking about earlier, things shifted in his life in 5 months in a way that I could not have planned it for him. He could not have planned it for him. No way we could have seen it 5 months ahead. But what I loved about him, first, he studied a lot. He took his studying very seriously. He was committed to change. He knew that the problem was within him. It was not within his work. I mean, he hated his work. He hated everything about it, and he blamed a lot. But deep inside, he knew that he had to change something in himself for the outside to change. So he kept himself serene. He kept himself calm, and things moved so quickly. I mean, in 5 months, going from the operational level at a company to the strategic level at the group. I mean, it's honestly that news made my week. But yeah, it's absolutely linked also to serenity. And even when he spoke about it, he was not like going crazy. I mean, he was in a state where he's not able to truly believe it, to digest the information, but he kept himself calm, as if he's still looking for something else, as if he's like, things got so much better, but I know they're going to get even better. It's that's like that calmness, that serenity where you have to be, and that comes only from within. Okay, so it's that's really the source of our power. It's really not money. It's not your country. It's not your neighborhood. It's not your family. It's really within, and people would love you because of truly within who you are. You will be successful because of truly within who you are. You can take a millionaire today and give him, basically take all his money away, but his mindset will help him to become a millionaire again very easily. And you can take someone so poor, and give him millions, and I promise you, in a couple of years, because his mind, one is like his mind is to create wealth. One, their mind is just to become better. The other is their mind is like how to consume, how to. It's really that's all what it's about, and that's why at the end of the day, man is mind. And if man knows how to work with his mind, man knows the law of the mind, we become unstoppable. We truly become unstoppable. And I know a lot of true success stories, young ones, like really young ones. Like one of the coaches I would say that I truly admire the most, her age is 37 years old. She's a huge success. She comes from way far with like truly a bunch of limiting beliefs. And I see her today, and to me, it's truly an example, a proof of the difference between person A and person B is just what's in their mind, what's between their ears. And the good news is that we can control that. And once we know the laws of how to play the game and how to control the mind, it's just things will start to shift for us. And that's what happened to me. That's what happened to my clients. That happened to a lot of people. And again, this is what I keep saying. It's unfortunately so sad that this information is not taught in school. It's the most important information in my mind that children must know at an early age, that parents should teach their children at an early age. Aristotle used to say, give me a child until the age of 7 and I will show you the man he will become. The reason for that is because between the age 0 and 7, there is really no conscious mind. It's just a subconscious mind that is wide open, that you can put languages in it, you can put anything in it, and that will be the default programming of a person. Imagine now we take children, let's say between the age 3 and 15, okay, and we teach them this information. we teach them, like, maybe let's say an hour a week, where you just work with them. You tell them how their mind function. You tell them what is the conscious, what is the subconscious mind, what does each section of the mind do. How we can get new habits. How we can become more successful doing certain things. How we should aspire to become someone better. To truly think of our goal. Like Earl Nightingale, which he said something that is absolutely true. You take young people, they're always eager, they want to succeed, and so on. By the age of 25, they all kind of like lose hope because they will get impregnated by the society where we live, where it's basically doesn't let you dream, doesn't let you really, it just puts you in a state where you are more in comparing. Okay, what the other are doing, I'll do the same. I don't want to go too far. I don't want to be too low. I just want to be in the average. And that's the truth of the world we live in, independently from what country. It's applicable everywhere. And I truly know, not I believe, I know it for a fact, we were not meant to live this way. Absolutely not. Each and every one of us has something so special within them, so special. And our work is to just uncover it, to just bring it out. And that's why we have to really go deep inside. It's not a matter of where, again, your financial state is not a matter of your work. It's not a matter of your home or your country or anything. It's really what's truly inside within you that will allow you to have that freedom. It's trying to come out. It wants to come out, but we have to use our mind to bring it out. And that's what makes a difference. And I truly believe studying the mind is the best thing I have ever done in my life. And every day I wake up, every day, and I'm so thankful because 4 years ago, you will have this discussion with me. To me, it will be like a complete Chinese. I will feel it is true. I will truly feel it because, when you speak the truth, you just feel it. But to me, it's like, no way. Like for instance, now when I speak with my aunts or something, and I do this quite often because I really want to bring their awareness up. I speak with my mom or my aunts, or they truly feel it, but at the same time, the information scares them. Scares them because they feel like, wow, it's too far-fetched. But I don't know. I spend all my life, I got used to a certain way of doing things, and I don't want to go too far. They're afraid. Working even now, like with some of the clients I had, to change their paradigm, it takes work. It's not an easy work. I admit to that, because you will have to let go of the known, and you will have to go some path of the unknown where you truly don't see the outcome. But you have to let go of what you know already. You have to let go of yesterday and last year and the day before and so on, and your way of doing things. And you have to start to move. Before you get to the end results, you will go through that darkness, like where you basically saw no end. You see no end of the tunnel. But there is an end to the tunnel. You just have to, and the belief, and this is one of the most, I think this is what took me also a lot of time to change my results. Napoleon Hill said, to truly achieve something, if you want to really achieve something, the first thing you have to do is you have to believe it. If there is no state of belief, no way you can achieve it. So believing in something, and this is also something that even religious people, they, in my opinion, they fail to teach. Because when we talk about belief, what is belief? At least in the society where I lived, and I lived in the US, I lived in Europe, I lived in Africa, I lived in the Middle East, so I know what I'm talking about. People tend to believe only what they see. And even if you tell them about something that could happen, no, I will believe it when I see it. This is always the statement. Once I see it, I'll believe it. But that's not belief. That has nothing to do with belief. And at the same time, when it comes to fear, at the same time, people, they are always afraid of something that didn't happen. And most likely it's not going to happen, but they're afraid of it. But why you spend and I used to be like that. I'm not like really pointing fingers or anything, because I am learning from that. I'm still learning from that. I'm still fixing myself. I am nowhere near where I could be. I know that for a fact. But I use this as an example, because even to teach myself is that I used to, like I mentioned earlier, I used to be spending time calculating scenarios of what I don't want to happen, because I'm afraid of it. And 0% of my energy, I will spend it on what I want to believe. No, because to me, if I don't see it, I don't believe it. But believing is an important mark. And believing will be tested through when you go through that tunnel, and that tunnel is so dark. At some point, you will lose end of what you have known, and you still don't see the outcome result. But I promise you, if you just stick with that belief, and you can stick with that belief only by studying, by getting that understanding. Because when you get the understanding, believing becomes easier. It's not a matter of really believing in the invisible. It's a matter of like truly believing in yourself, believing on who you truly are. And that's also maybe something else I want to talk about. But belief is definitely a state of mind that needs to be acquired. What I just mentioned right now about who you truly are, this is, I think, the moment that really Bob kind of like pushed the button in me that like really that's when I knew I wanted to do this. Because I remember I was in such a bad situation, like financially, and I was in a bad situation within myself. Like I was kind of hating myself because I was so confused. I was confused in a sense where, I studied in the best schools in the United States. I worked at the best companies. I worked only for multinational companies. I am moving, from position to a position very well. I am, well respected in the IT community. But I was feeling a failure. I was truly feeling a failure. My financial results showed that I was a failure. I was always struggling. And I just got sick and tired, and I'm tired of it. And when Bob spoke, he said, in order for you to change your results, you have to know three things. You have to know who you are, you have to know where you are, and you have to know where you're going. I used to think that the problem was always with where I'm going. Yeah, maybe I should not, aim too high. It should not fetch too far, and it's made for others but not for me. That's an absolute lie. That's, a BS. The second point is to know where I am. Okay, I know where I am. This is my situation, everything. But truly, I never looked at where I am as that's my programming. I looked at where I am. Today I'm here. Maybe tomorrow I'll be there. I don't know. It's circumstances. It's condition. When the truth of the matter is, where I am is where my programming is. So I had to sit down and study and know where my programming is, from the financial thermostat, from the personal thermostat, from the community thermostat, from the professional thermostat. I had to really assess what were my limits, And it's true, like in the sense that I remember at some points, I would have quite a hefty amount of money in my bank account. But within a few months, it will disappear. It will truly disappear in a sense where I will buy things I don't need and I will do things I'm not really interested in, but I will always come back to that low level because that's where my thermostat is. And I understood that. It took me time, but I understood that. And that's when things start to shift. But the most important thing that Bob said that really took me to the committed decision is when he said, you have to know who you truly are. That kind of like gave me like a blank in my head. What do you mean who I truly I am? I'm Haikel, this is me. I'm here, I'm Haikel. And then when he started to talk like that, we live in a three different plane of existence, which is we are spiritual beings, we have an intellect, and we live in a physical body. Which means when I say that this is my body, this is my hand, it's something that belongs to me, but it's not me. It belongs to me. I have it, but it's not truly me. That had kind of like took a huge weight out of my shoulders. It's just like, that's what I told you, like when you know the truth will set you free and you will feel it. It made like I felt like there is a higher power within me. There is something so strong within me that I'm barely scratching the surface of it. That can take me way, way, way better. And that's when again I started studying. But I truly understood that I am a soul, I am a spiritual being, and that spirituality, the spiritual part in me is very important. And the three aspects, like they have to coexist. Like I cannot exist just as a body and mind. And I cannot exist just as a soul and mind. And I cannot just exist as a soul and body. The three are as important one as the other. But the soul parts kind of like brought more clarity. It brought more perspective into things. It brought more perspective into the universal laws. All of this, again, that's why I told you studying is so important. Put things into my perspective, into my life, and made it easier for me even to respond instead of react. Because when you are like, when you know that you're a spiritual being, reacting really will not become something that you want to do. You would just feel like you are so above everything anyway. Why would you react? Why not respond instead? And when you start responding, you would love it so much, because you would start to think that I'm actually thinking. I'm not, I'm not like in an automation mode, like I'm just, like a machine respond. I am actually thinking, and I'm thinking with ease, and I'm more comfortable with myself, and I love myself. This is something like they never even taught us. They never taught us to love ourselves. They always taught us to, love the others, give to the others, but yeah, don't be selfish. And again, how can you give something that you don't have? If you don't have a proper love for yourself, how can you give others? And I realized that because I used to be on that end of like where I just give the others, give to my wife, give to my kids, give to my parents, make sure they're okay, And I was that in the survival mode, like like I'm struggling, and I'm like, okay, you guys take, okay, it's okay. Tomorrow is the next day for me. But when I shifted and I started to really respect myself and love myself and appreciate myself and understand that as a human being, it's a learning curve, and I don't have to hate myself for the mistakes I've done. I've done some stupid mistakes. I've done some even bad things in my life, and I used to hate myself for them. And I learned that I should not hate myself for them. As I'm still a human being, and a human being, they make mistakes, and I should be more patient with myself. And to be patient with myself, I have to love myself. And when I become that new version of myself, helping others was even like on another level compared to how I used to help them. Like I used to help them out of survival. Now I'm helping them with much ease, and with like much, like they will get it with so much love, that the appreciation of whatever I'm giving them is just too much high. And whatever I give them, they bring it back to me with love and appreciation and care. So the more energy you give, the more you will get back. And that's again with the law of cause and effect. So and this is what I'm talking about here is truly is very important, but it's not all of it. There's still so much more about us to be uncovered and to raise our awareness to. But again, the basic of it is we should truly understand who we are. We are the highest form of creation. We don't exist here by luck. We are not like a bunch of like. I used to think of it that this way. By the way, I used to think that we are like like herd of animals. We're there. If one dies, it's okay. There's still many more. But we are nothing like that. Each and every one of us, from the youngest to the oldest, has something so pure and perfect in them that just getting that out is simply our work to do.
Wow, this is so amazing what you just shared. I'm still impressed. Thank you. You are amazing. I'm so grateful that you are here today. And we have a hand raised by Laura Lee. Laura Lee?
Hi. I was just typing it in the chat. I love what you do, and you can feel and hear the passion in you. It's just wonderful. And something you commented about when you get we're to get it to the level where we respond, not react to situations that we don't like. And I was wondering if you would like to share a few of your favorite techniques to get people to calm down when they overreact to a situation. And sometimes we do need to, if the house is on fire and you need to get people out, you need to be yelling and screaming and getting people's attention. But sometimes we just, because of other things that go on in our life and our energy level is not where we want it to be, we overreact. So would you share with us a few of your favorite techniques to calm yourself down, and maybe even to calm others down? Because as soon as you say calm down, that just makes people's adrenaline spike right up. Alan's laughing about that one.
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah. Well, for myself, what I learned, and this is something I think if I can give you an advice, is that we have a tendency to not breathe correctly. The way we live our daily life is that, think of it this way: next time you hear something unexpected, just observe yourself, and you'll see yourself as you're not breathing. You just kind of get it like, and that's kind of like what the emotionally we get stuck is that we get something not that didn't flow correctly. So one thing I do myself is I just first thing as I'm catching, I breathe. Nothing's gonna. You have to breathe. Breathe is the most primary thing that I have to do. When I work with people, and even with my children, or some situation happen, I usually let the person get the thing out. Just let them get it all out. They have to throw it away. But once they're done, and when they're done, they're in a state where they just feel they feel a little bad and they feel exhausted. That's when I get to the point where I try to make them first good about themselves. First is just you have to make them. I give a compliment, not a shadow compliment, but a compliment in a sense that you stood up to the situation. For instance, maybe you did not do it the right way. I don't think you did, by the way. But I'm honestly, I'm very happy that you stood up to the situation. Then I get into the explanation part. I get to the explanation part in a sense that, okay, assuming, for instance, that we reverse the situation, would you like someone to yell at you this way? Would you like to be, treated as someone who's incompetent, as someone who's a true failure, as someone who does not deserve mercy, for instance? I try to kind of like give them different perspective. And then the third point is I really try to explain the point of the difference between reacting and responding. They never truly get it the first time, but I know it's just like that message will I kind of like try to plant the seed in their mind that I hope one day it will come. Because at the end of the day, and this is even myself, it took convincing when I first started. Studying every day, it's not something very easy to do in the beginning. It's the most important thing. It's the thing that has completely changed my life. It's the thing that I advise everyone to do. But I know that some people, they have reluctance to study every day. And if you don't study every day, you cannot create a new program. So what will happen is that I can calm people down maybe for a little bit, but then they will come back to their programming if they don't take that decision to say, it's true, my way of doing it's not right, I need to change this, or I need to go to someone who can help me change this. It's so important to me this work. Like Bob helped me, Caroline, when we used to do the 6 a.m. Studying every morning. That was not easy to do, to wake up every morning at 5:30 and get ready to study at 6. But it's one of the best things that really made me shift, because even in the days when I'm not feeling it right, I know that having those people with me, it just will get my energy raised up. People will ask so many interesting questions in that call that will get me thinking in the right way. People will share some good events happen to them, because the more you study this material, by the way, the more things will start to shift for you. It will shift for, like I was in a mastermind call just before this one, and one of the person we were in the call, he said, when I work with a client, he was discussing a situation about 2 clients. He said one of them asked me, is this like happened by luck or really because of this material? It's not, nothing really happens by luck. So studying is important. But to answer your question in a simple way, let them get it out. And once they get it out, just and they start to calm down, speak to them at that point. And not speak at them, speak with them. Get them to the point where they will start to truly think of what you said. It's not a matter of telling them, no, don't do this, do this. It's a matter of like, what if you were on the other side of the table? Weren't you before? Did it never happen to you that you were on the other side of the table? And I see this like with parents when they treat their kids, and this is something that gets me moving. Like I don't like when parents or adults speak at children, not with children, but at them. Children are so like a glass of water. They're so blank. They're so perfect in a sense. They don't know the bad, the good, the ugly, the stealing and all of that. They're still pure in a sense. And you take someone like an adult who to them is an example to follow because they don't know anything better. And that person like would speak at them, be like, that's not good what you did. You should not do that. I will, do this to you and you don't deserve this. And to me, what do you expect that child will become afterwards? I mean, just like now from that experience, how did that experience impact him positively? Just give me one example that it will impact him positively. I can give you like 1,000 reasons how it will impact him negatively, but positively, no way. No way. It will just get them to lose confidence in themselves, which is too sad because most of the clients I work with, honestly, the first thing that always pops up is self-confidence. They just don't feel good enough for the thing they desire. Why? Because they're not confident enough that they can acquire it. Why they're not confident enough that they cannot acquire it? Because at some period of their life they felt that they're, a piece of blah blah, which is not true. They just get that perception from the way society treated them. And that's why protecting our mind from the outside is so important. We should always live from the inside out, even if you feel, and this is took me a while to master, but it's the best thing. Sometimes I will go through hardship. I will pretend that I'm going through the best moment of my life. My energy will raise instantly. I will just start feeling better. I am more confident, and I have that thinking in my mind that I know for sure now things will get better. Yet, the situation in itself, when I describe it, it just, at first it made me feel like, blah. But I'm gonna pretend that didn't happen. I'm gonna pretend that I succeeded in that thing. I'm gonna pretend that I signed that contract. I'm gonna pretend that that company validated my offer. I just, once I do that, I am in control of myself. That's also what I learned. That's again between reacting and responding. We self mastery is amazing. Self mastery is something that we are all capable of doing. We are absolutely all capable of doing. But if we don't practice it, we lose it. It's like a muscle. If you don't practice it, you lose it. And that's why again, studying is a key. Is nothing. Unfortunately, not unfortunately, because I love studying. I love just sit and read. I love just writing my journal. It makes me feel like I am speaking with the best version of myself. I'm just sitting on me and me. Okay, it's just really between me and me. And me, I love me, and me loves me. No one is gonna hurt the other, and we work together to overcome things. And that becomes my me time. And when I have my me time, I'm so good with everyone around me. I'm more at ease. I'm more in the effortless way. So
Excellent. I was just going to say you've covered quite a few points there, but the main point is that everything starts with us. We've got to look at ourselves. As I said, you've got to love yourself before you can love somebody else. And everything we were told as children, we were born geniuses. Then we had that educated out of us. And by the time we get to our 20s, 30s, there's only about 1 or 2% of people who are still in that genius mindset. So we've got to look at it. I look at everything that has happened in my life or people have said to me, and I turn it 180 degrees. And then I've had to look at it from that point, and it's made so much more sense to me that I realized then I could focus on me, because that's the biggest issue. Is we've got the programming on one side that we've copped all the way through. You've talked about people who have been very focused on what they were doing, and they've got great results. So getting from that education and programming that we had as younger to having that state of mind where we can really focus on something is the real area where the gift comes in. It's being able to find the way to do that. I think you've given us a lot of points there today and that to think about on how do we actually get to that state and have that self-mastery, as you called it.
Yeah, it's. I hope it helped.
Thank you so much, Haikel. We have another question, I think, from Aaron. Aaron, you want to unmute yourself? What?
Hey everyone.
Hi, Aaron.
Yeah.
But yeah, sorry I was kind of in and out throughout because there was a lot of technical difficulties. So I'm glad to still, make it. But you just, like adding on to what you're saying, you got to be passionate about what you do, and that's a lot of energy, right? When you're creating, you're being in that flow state, and it's not like you're forcing or resisting, but you're just in direct alignment with your vision of success.
Yeah, true. But to get there, though, you have to know the true desire of within. That's what's really truly within that wants to come out. You have to connect to that, and that's also the work that I believe each and every one deserve to do. It's not a you have to do; you deserve it, because once you connect to that, you will really start to live the effortless way. I take the example of Bob, which, by the way, he passed away on a July 5th. No, sorry, his birthday is on July 5th. He would have been a 90th birthday. And the person who's like really used to manage the, let's say, the recording and the editing and the switching of the screen and everything. His name is Scott. He's now, as a matter of fact, with Napoleon Hill Institute. And he wrote a statement for Bob's birthday. He said that guy just simply loves to work. He is working all the time, all the time. Even on his birthday, he would invite us all. But when I sit next to him, we'll be talking about work, 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 work. So, and when he discussed this topic with him, he told him, when you do the thing you love, you will never have to work a day in your life. But to do the thing you love, you have to know what you love. And to know what you love, you have to dig really deep. You should not try this. No, okay, I'll move to the next. No, I used to be like that. I used to like switch like a honeybee. But that was not really, nothing really came from me, from the inside of me. But you have to connect with what's truly inside of you. And that thing inside of you, it wants to come out. I promise you, it's eager to come out. But it's waiting for your intention to comes out. So, and whatever you put your intention in, whatever you put your energy in, that thing will grow. So the more you put intention on your world within, your world within is going to come out, and your life will become much better. Yeah.
Wow, Haikel, this was amazing. Thank you for answering all our questions. And we are at the top of the hour, and you were one of our top speakers of the stage of inspiration. I think
Thank
our
you.
speaker event. Thank you so much. This
My
was our
pleasure. It's
event.
good to see you.
So nice. And have a great evening, everyone. Have a great day. We are all around the world. And I see you at the next event, of course.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much.
Thank you.